Make sure the spiral wound cable, which is the parking brake cable, is positioned below these two fingers. Slide the bottom portion of the brake shoe behind this metal piece at the bottom. Snap the top of the shoe into the slot at the end of the wheel cylinder and push it in. Take the small spring that holds the bottoms of the brake shoes together and hook it into the rear brake shoe as shown here. Slide the anchor pin that is still attached to the inside of the brake drum and put it through the hole in the center of the brake shoe and hold it in place. Slide the bottom washer with the raised side facing up, the spring, then the top washer with the raised side facing down. Using your brake spring tool, push in and give it all a quarter of a turn so that the shoe is locked into place. Take the front brake shoe and attach it to the spring at the bottom. Again, slide the bottom of the shoe behind the metal plate at the bottom. Take the brake adjusting mechanism and spin the star wheel so that the mechanism is short as possible. Slip this end into this piece on the rear brake shoe. Just as on the rear shoe, slide the anchor pin that is still attached to the inside of the brake drum and put it through the hole in the center of the brake shoe while holding it in place. Slide the bottom washer on with the raised side facing up, the spring, then the top washer with the raised part facing down. Using your brake spring tool, push in and give it all a quarter of a turn so that the shoe is locked into place. Now you need to put the large spring bar back on. Slip the bottom of the bar into this bracket at the bottom. Slide the back leg of the spring into this hole on the rear brake shoe. Then slide the other end of this hole onto the front brake shoe. As you attach this end of the spring bar, you must make sure that the opposite end of the brake adjusting mechanism fits into the notch at the top of the front brake shoe. Now this is how it should look. Now put your brake drum back on. Put the outer wheel bearing back on with the slimmer side first. Then put the notched washer over it and make sure that the notch goes over the groove. Put the nut back on over the washer and tighten it up by hand. Then take your tool and snug it down. Spin the drum, loosen the nut slightly, then snug it down again. Put the locking washer back in place and put the new cotter pin through the hole in the axle shaft. Snip the ends of the legs of the pins off and bend the legs to the side. Now put the dust cover back on and tap it into place. Go to the back and you'll see a slot. Take your screwdriver or other tool, stick it in the slot, and turn the star wheel upwards. Now as it's turned, you'll hear a click. Keep turning the wheel until you hear a slight drag when you spin the brake drum. Now what this is doing is expanding the brake shoes to fit the diameter of the drum. Put your tire back on using the star-shaped pattern and you're done. Be sure to check your brake fluid level when you're finished.